Hey, innovators, how are you? I have an awesome challenge for you today. We are going to take a material that's probably lying all around your house, cardboard, and we're going to do some awesome stuff with it. This week's innovative challenge is a cardboard challenge. While we're stuck at home, we're going to think of some really creative ways to take this cardboard and turn them into useful and innovative objects. I'm going to show you a couple of tricks on how to score cardboard, how to bend it, and how to cut it so that you can make the coolest objects using just tape, cardboard, and maybe some glue. So, let's take a look at our materials and let's get started. First, we're going to need some cardboard. So grab some old packaging boxes or look around the house for some old cardboard and cut it down. Next, you'll need some tape, and you'll need a good pair of scissors. I'm going to use these shop scissors. And I recommend you use a hard edge or some kind of ruler to make some markings. If you have a cutting mat, that would be great, especially if you decide to use a box cutter. Now, to glue some things, I would suggest you use a hot glue gun if you have it. And last but not least, if you have the help of an adult or the supervision of an adult, go ahead and use a box cutter. If you don't have an adult there to help you, I would suggest you just stick to scissors. Now, innovators, we've looked at some of the basic materials that you're going to need. So now, let's look at some of the techniques that we're going to use in order to best manipulate your cardboard. What I mean by manipulate means how can we cut it, bend it, and shape it in order to make the projects that we want. So, let's take a closer look. Alright, so the first technique we're going to try today is just cutting some cardboard. We're going to use a pair of scissors to cut through that cardboard. My suggestion is as you're making your design, you mark where you want to cut so that you get nice even lines, which will lead to a better build and better construction. So, using my ruler, I'm going to mark a line here where I want to cut, like so. And now, taking my scissors, I am going to cut my cardboard. Perfect. Now, one tip that I'll show you is if you look at the side of the cardboard, there is corrugation, right? There's a small piece of cardboard that's inside, sandwiched in between the cardboard, right? That gives it a little more support and strength. One thing that's important to know is if you want to fold your cardboard, you can fold along that corrugation and it'll fold very easily. See? So, another suggestion I have is mark where you want to fold. Alright? You want to fold there. You can even use your straight edge. In my case, I'm using a ruler, but you can use a notebook or a book, just something that has a hard edge, and you're going to fold. Perfect. I got a nice clean fold. Okay. Now, another technique you can do is maybe you want to create a very unique fold, right, for your cardboard. You can also score it, which means you're going to create little lines. I'm going to take my scissor, I'm going to open them up just slightly, and I'm going to cut across like this. And just kind of score my cardboard. Okay, I can even use a straight edge like so. That'll help me. That also allows me to fold my cardboard very easily, okay? So now we have a couple of different techniques for folding your cardboard. We also know how to cut it. Now, if you have access to a box cutter and you have the assistance of an adult, you should put down a cutting mat, and if you don't have a cutting mat, you can also just put down a larger piece of cardboard, okay? And you can place the cardboard that you want to cut. You'll mark where you want to cut it, like so. There we go. using my straight edge, I'm going to secure my box cutter and cut through. Now, the proper way is not to put all of your force into it, but to gently go over the same line over and over again until it cuts through. If you don't have an adult to help supervise you or help you with the box cutter, I would suggest you just don't use it and just stick to some scissors, which will cut through the cardboard just fine. All right, now let's look at some techniques on how to connect the cardboard. How to connect the cardboard as you begin building. One technique that I like to do is just using tape. If I need to connect two pieces, right, like so, I like to flip it over and tape below the crease like so. There you go. Now that'll hold it in place. Now I'll put another piece of tape over here. They don't have to be large pieces, they can be short pieces. In fact, I'll take this, I'll cut it into two smaller pieces. And if you notice, just using 3 small strips of tape, I have secured this piece, the smaller piece, to my larger piece of cardboard. You don't have to use a ton of tape in order to secure a piece down. You can just be very strategic and use smaller strips. Right? That looks great. All right. Now, we're going to look at one more technique. Let's say your design requires you to have a curve. Okay? You want it to have kind of a round edge. What you can do is, you can take a piece of cardboard and you're going to create several bends. You're going to fold it several times close to each other, like this. So 1, you'll move this over just a bit, fold it again. And you'll keep folding like that, trying to evenly space your cardboard. There you go. This is looking very nice. Very even. Now, if it's not perfect, don't worry. Fold again and again. So, you should have that kind of pattern or design on your cardboard. But the great thing is when you fold it, you'll get that nice curve that you're looking for. So if you're trying to make circular objects or an object with a curve, this is the best technique to do that. Very nice. Now, let's talk about support. If you're planning to create an object that's going to try to hold some weight, you're going to need a little bit of support. One of the best techniques that you can use is to create cylinders. You see, cylinders are able to evenly distribute the weight that they hold. And they're tremendously strong. So, I rolled up my piece of cardboard. I'll take a piece of tape here. And after I've rolled it up, it doesn't have to be a perfect circle. I'll just place a little piece of tape here, another piece there. I'll do the same on the bottom. And I've created a little column or cylinder. This is incredibly strong. I can put a lot of weight or pressure on it and it will not bend. All of the pressure is evenly distributed here. And if you build it correctly, this will allow you to put a lot of weight or pressure. So if you're building a stool or something that is going to require to be able to hold a certain amount of weight, this is a great option. If you look at some buildings, you may notice that they have a lot of columns. This is the same concept. You're creating cardboard columns to help support your structure. So now you have a couple of different techniques to use. Why don't you start to build? So innovators, I've been working for quite a bit, cutting up some cardboard, taping it up, and I want to show you what I came up with. The first thing that I thought about was, well, occasionally I need to kick my feet up while I'm working at my desk, and I don't have a footrest, but I have cardboard. So I fabricated this cool little footrest, and we'll test it out in just a second. But I taped a couple of layers of cardboard for the top. I created a few columns for the feet, and it's able to support quite a bit of weight. So I'm really excited to try this out. The second thing that I created was I wanted to make something that was a little bit smaller, something that could fit on my desk. And I also wanted to make something that would make me laugh and give me a little bit of stress relief. So I created this little cardboard toilet. This little flusher I'm going to use whenever I've had a bad day or I have some negative thoughts. I'm going to write them down, like so. I'm going to crunch them up, and I'm going to flush them. Ah, much better. I was stuck in traffic today? Oh, man. Let's flush that down the toilet. So, just a funny, quirky little object that's going to give me a little bit of mental relief. With that, innovators, I can't wait to see what fun and creative things you come up with using cardboard. All right, remember to always think creatively and to think critically. Until next time. Time to test out this footrest.